some of the bigger gold belts in the world, ones that would be familiar to our investors, such as the Abitibi in Canada, or such as the Pilbara and Kalgoorlie areas in Australia, very big producers on a global basis of this ilk, of this spectrum of deposits, which we call mesothermal.
So the deposit is very much structurally controlled. One aspect of that works to the benefit of Revival Gold is that, of course, the structures are fairly easily identified. And by following those structures and drilling in vicinity of those structures, the probability of finding mineralized areas greatly increases.
We're intersecting structures within the Panther Creek fault zone that focus fluids such that we got some high grade. We've got intersections up to 70 grams over several meters, suggesting that there's high grade along the Panther Creek fault zone. And there are several areas along the Panther Creek fault zone that past open pit mining and geophysics has told us that there are other major intersections or jogs within that structure.
So what that means is that the potential of the project along strike and at depth has been largely unexplored. There are also other targets on the property which I don't think have been explored properly. That's on the Beartrack side. I mean, there's something like 14 kilometers of potential structure in aggregate at Beartrack.
The first time we're really going to focus down in some areas to see if we can connect the dots for some high-grade shoots that will justify an underground operation. And frankly, putting ounces together, once you find these structures, can be relatively easy.
High grade always improves a project, no matter where you're at and what you're doing. And it's really important that we can add a high grade component to the mill project, because that'll just push us over the top. It'll push us over the top and it'll make us, much more attractive, much more financially sound for the project going forward. Grade is king.
Something like the high grades at Joss bodes very well, I think, for not just heap leach potential ounces. And at Beartrack, finding something like the high grades at Joss bodes very well, I think, for not just heap leach potential ounces, but high grade millable ounces. And with the infrastructure that the company has at that project, it gives us a great leg up to move forward with an economic deposit.
And I think the project has a lot of potential to expand not only the size, but also potentially the grade, particularly Joss. Joss is an area in the Beartrack mine that represents probably the highest grade potential for the project what we currently know. Anytime you can put a project together where you can phase it and start out with a simple, low-cost capital heap leach operation, and then transition into a larger, longer life, perhaps mill operation, I think that's a tremendous potential and also very attractive as an investment opportunity.
Nature prepared the rocks to liberate the gold relatively easy in this so-called oxide zone, which is a skin of weathered material prior to intersecting the deeper sulfide-rich material.
The oxides lend themselves to heap leach recovery, which is a proven method of gold recovery, and typically involves lower capital costs and a quicker recovery of gold.
The oxide material is relatively straightforward to process, and we have the existing infrastructure at Beartrack to reutilize, redeploy to produce gold. So the oxides are a quick start for us.
Quite a bit of potential at Beartrack in terms of untested potential along strike and at depth. And at Arnett, we have targets at a variety of levels of development near the Haiti resource, targets that have a little bit of historical drilling, and then targets that have no drilling at all.
Fair to say that there is a lot more to come, not just at Arnett, where we've really only tested Haiti, with other oxide targets remaining to be tested. But at Beartrack also, the Joss target was the first one. We like the targets that we see on strike with the main ore controlling fault, which is called the Panther Creek Fault, both on the north and on the south. One of interest to me and to the company is the Joss target and the Rabbit target.
We're going to continue expanding upon the depth, the strike, and the width of this project so that we can develop the resources necessary for a full-phased project.
We focus on grade, we focus on costs, and we focus on longevity. Being that we have really not tested many targets on either property yet, and we've already defined a resource that has a nice mine life, I've not really seen any reason to suspect that this property can't grow again in both productive life and in the contained ounces. I think the company has great expectations that the property package, Arnett and Beartrack together, has potential to not only host what we currently know about them in terms of the oxide and the sulfide resource at both properties, but many other targets that have not been tested. Example would be the Joss target, where we've defined some new high-grade intercepts with really the first major drilling on that extension of the main Beartrack property.
This year's programs are targeting exploration in the Haiti area, where we've got oxide mineralization close to surface, and in the exciting Joss area, we've got a high-grade target for the mill potential, and it's open in all directions. So this year's drill program is all about expanding the potential for the deposit. And in addition, in the background, we're doing engineering work and environmental planning work, which will set us up for a production decision in the future. Thank you for watching this video on the exciting exploration potential at Revival Gold. We look forward to updating you on our developments. Please follow us on our social media and at www.revival-gold.com.